Captain's log, stardate 150907. Excuse me. How's everybody doing? I'm not quite 100% this week. I'm better than I was last week. I had a little case of Regillian flu that put me in sick bay last week, so I wasn't able to bring you Prosper last week. I am, however, going to make up for it this week. This week's unofficial sponsor of Prosper is my friend Christine Hope over at Trek Lady C. Hit her up on Facebook. I'm going to post a link. Hit her up. Give her some likes. She's already at near 700 if she hasn't gone over it already. Check her out. Lovely lady. Wonderful person. And tell her I sent you. Alright. Now that we got that over the way, special tie-in I'm doing today with the folks over at Synthaholics. Replicate 3. I mentioned Synthaholics because I just had the honor of appearing on their podcast for this week. This week's entry of Prosper, brought to you by Trek Lady C, special tie-in with the folks over at Synthaholics. That being said, I'm thirsty. First beverage of the week, Asahi Clear. 5% alcohol by volume. Never had this before, so this is new. This is new to us here. Proper opening apparatus. Smells alright. Oh, this sucker looks good too. This sucker looks great. Alright, well, cheers to y'all. Kapla! As they say in the Klingon Empire. Pretty good. Alright, now, as I said earlier, it's been a couple weeks. Wasn't able to come to you last week, so I got to make up for it this week. "24 birthdays and a wedding anniversary." Well, you know the best way to get through something, right? Just get started. That's it. First birthday of the week. I actually grew up with his nephew. I consider him an uncle. Good friend of the family, Ted Dishner. Uncle Ted, how you doing, my friend? Hope you had a happy birthday. I hope life's treating you well. Are you still running marathons? I can't remember if you were or not. It was good catching up with you last week. Hey, I don't think you drink, but I'll have one for you. Alright, next up on the list, my friend Doug Rowland. Now, I actually met him through his brother Travis. He came and visited us when we were in England. And if I remember right, you weren't the same after you met me. Because I think your brother and I took you out and initiated you just well. Because, hey, you know, legal drinking age in England is 18. So we were able to, yeah. Needless to say, I was able to make your mom happy and pissed off with me at the same time. But hey, Doug, all that aside, happy birthday, my friend. I hope you had a good one. I hope you didn't drink too many of these. If not, don't worry about it. I got you covered. Alright. Next two birthdays, believe it or not, 2 days apart. Not sure how many years, if any. My Aunt Mary and Uncle Gary Dimmitt celebrated their birthdays together this year. First one for my uncle being retired. Congratulations to you both. Well, congratulations to you, Uncle Gary, on your retirement. Happy birthday to you and Aunt Mary. I hope you guys are celebrating well. And hey, I'll drink one for you. Might as well. Next birthday on the list. Dear friend I grew up with. I knew her as Amanda Whittaw. I'm talking about Amanda Finney. Amanda, how's it going? I hope you had a good birthday. I really do. I hope you celebrated well. I hope you got spoiled on your birthday. And hey, I'll drink to you. Next up on the list. Grew up with this gal too. She was a few years ahead of me in school. Michelle Overman. I knew her as Michelle Keith back in the day. Michelle, happy birthday to you. I hope it was a good one. I hope you're as ready as I am for what's about to happen next week. Pro football is back. It has been too long since we've had football. Hey, Michelle, I know you. You're going to be like me, root for the Colts whenever you can. Hey, Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Oh, excuse me. All right. Next on the list, my mother's traveling companion from last year, Brenda Warren. Now, Brenda, I was trying to get you on here with me and Mom. You didn't want to do it, but hey, I get it. I ain't mad. I get it. I totally get it. Brenda, happy birthday. I hope Everett treated you well on your birthday. I know you don't drink, so hey, I'll take care of you. Next on the list, I grew up with this guy in good old Economy, Indiana. A few years ahead of me, good friends with my friend Josh Chenoweth, my brother Josh Chenoweth, I should say, Chris Fuller. Chris, what's up, dude? How you doing? How's life treating you? I hope you're as ready for football as I am. Hey, let's root on this year. Hey, hopefully, with these ball deflators will be out of the picture, and maybe we'll make it to a Super Bowl. Let's hope. All right, next on the list, my dear cousin Amber. Her name, my dear cousin Amber. Amber Roar. Amber, I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope the kids aren't being too rough on you in school, and I hope that Chris spoiled the crap out of you. You deserve it, and hey, I'm drinking for you. Next on the list, high school with this guy. He was a couple years ahead of me. Hey, it is what it is. Not everybody can be the same age as you. Everybody can be close, not the same age as you. Jason Miller. Roscoe, what's up, bud? How's it going? Hope you had a happy birthday. Hope life's treating you well. Hope things are going well for you. My friend, I'll drink one for you. All right, next on the list. I think I actually picked this guy up when he got here, Earth Station, Okinawa. If not, I had dinner with him the same night. Sean Jones. Jones, my man, what's up? What is going on? I hope everything's going right for you. I hope work's going well. Hope other things going well for you. Man, happy belated birthday. Hope you enjoy a cold one. I hope you did enjoy a cold one. Excuse me. Next on the list. Gal I met a couple years ago when I went to go see my good friend Josh living in Abilene, Texas. I'm talking about Renee Phillips. Renee, what is going on? How's life treating you? I hope you're doing okay. I hope I get the chance to see you again in November. I'm going to try to make it out that way. Excuse me. I'm not making any promises. No, I will make a promise. I will promise to try to get out there to see you. Hey, hope you had a cold one on your special day. Next up on the list, guy I worked with here. Only God knows what he's doing now. Daulton Cosner. Dude, what's going on? How's life treating you? Where are you living now? I honestly plumb forgot. But hey, I hope you had a happy birthday. Hope you celebrated well. Are you old enough to enjoy one of these yet? If so, make it so. If not, I got you covered. All right, next on the list. This gal, she's sharing a Facebook page with her husband. I honestly don't know if it's her birthday or if it's her husband's birthday. I'm taking a shot in the dark because it says her birthday. So, Penny Portwood. Penny, Star Trek fan like me, I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope it was a good one. And hey, I'll drink one for you. Why not? What the hell? All right, next on the list. These next two, actually, I just reconnected with not too long ago. First gal, I knew her in England. I knew her as Marilyn Whitehead. Is Marilyn Wheat. Shares her birthday with Charlie Sheen. Marilyn, how are you doing? I miss talking with you. I really need to talk with you more often than I do. But hey, Marilyn, I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope you celebrated well. And I hope if you couldn't have one of these, it's all right. Got you covered. Excuse me. All right. The next one on the list, like I said, just reconnected with her. Michelle Loomis. That's for you. That's for you, my dear. Michelle, you know what? I can't hold it against you. Not everybody's perfect. But hey, at least your QB beat the system. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything else about that. But hey, you know what? This is about you. This is not about football. This is about you. Michelle, my friend, happy birthday. Oh, congratulations to you. From my heart. My hat's off to you. Saw where you and your husband are expecting another little one. I don't know how far along you are, but are you far enough along to know what you're having? It's obvious you're having a human baby, but do you know the gender yet? If not, no big deal. I'm not sure how far along you are, but hey, congratulations to you and your husband. And I drink to you. Devoid of life is the brain cells, the average Sequest fan. Hey, good thing I got another one, huh? This next one, Asahi Clear at 6%. Proper opening apparatus. The proper technique. Oh, gotta be careful. I don't want to steal a whole lot from Beer and Song of the Day like I've been accused of before. But hey, you know what? Everybody's got haters. If you got a hater, it means you're doing something right. Cheers to y'all. Kapla! As they'd say in the Klingon Empire. A little heavier, but not bad. All right, let's get back on the road, shall we? Next birthday, gal I knew, living in Germany, good friend of mine, lovely person, Sharon Ceskowski. Sharon, how are you doing? You've been through a lot here lately. I hope you're doing all right. You know, I can't remember if I've told you this before, but if you ever need to talk, hit me up. I'm here for you. I don't know if I've made the offer before. I want to say I have. But, you know, the offer's still good. Hit me up anytime, day or night. With the time difference, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But, hey, you know what? I'll drink one with you. Why not? What the hell? All right. Next on the list, guy I work with here at Earth Station Okinawa, Charles Weber. Charlie, what's going on, my man? How you doing? You been in any of your Fight Club events lately? What's going on? I hope you're doing all right. Hope you had a good birthday. And you know what? I'm going to drink to you. All right, I got 6 of them left. Let's see what I can do. Next on the list, I haven't met him yet in person, but I have met him at Star Trek group. I'm talking about Eric Lawler. What's going on, Eric? How's life treating you? I hope you had a good birthday. I hope you were spoiled rotten. Hey, you know what? I don't know if you drink or not, but I'll enjoy one for you if not. All right. Next on the list. This gal, I don't know if she is related to Star Trek royalty or not. Judging by her name, hey, you know what? It could be. She might not be. Kim Roddenberry. Kim, I hope you had a happy birthday. I hope you are indeed part of Trek royalty. If so, you are very deserving of the Prosper Salute. Keep on keeping on, and I'm going to drink to you. All right. Next birthday on my list. My wife's cousin, Maddy. Maddy Gieslin. Maddy, how are you? I hope you had a happy birthday. You are by far not old enough to enjoy one of these yet. So cheers and apple juice, root beer, I don't know, whatever you want. Cheers and I'll drink it with you. All right. Next gal, went to school with. She was a year behind me. Sara Gerton. Sara, how are you doing? How's life treating you? I hope you had a happy birthday. Hope things going well for you. You know what? I'm going to drink one for you. All right, next on the list, a fellow Masonic brother, a brother past master. You know, he was actually the last brother that I initiated back in 2007. Wow, was it that long ago? Justin McDonald. My brother, how's life treating you? I hope you're doing well. I hope this finds you well. I hope you had a good year as master of your lodge. Brother Justin, I drink to you. Celebrate well and enjoy. And the final birthday, I knew her when I was living in Germany. Wonderful lady, very she is a big sweetheart. I'm talking about Iris Carpenter. Iris, what's going on? How are you guys doing? Where are you guys at now? Are you still in Germany or have you guys moved on? Hey, Iris to you. I hope you have a happy birthday. I hope you celebrate well and enjoy. I don't know if you partake. If not, I got you back. All right, birthdays done. I have, excuse me, I have a very special wedding anniversary I want to get to. From the first, 3 years ago, my brother Josh Chenoweth and his lovely, gorgeous, awesome wife Reba. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it to your wedding. I was in my leadership course at the time. Something I had to do for my job. You know what? I really am sorry I wasn't able to make it. But hey, you know what? I know you two don't drink. Excuse me. But I'll drink for you. Cheers to the both of you. Alright. That is it for all my greetings. What is next on my list? Ooh. Next week. Football's back. Football will be back. I so cannot wait. It's the trek for number 50 this year. I would love... Patriots fans gonna hate me. I don't give a shit. I would love to see those jokers miss it this year by one game. And that one game, miss it by 1 point. That would be epic. Epic. That would be so epic I can't even describe it. That would be like a Star Trek special where all 5 captains actually appeared. I don't mean convention. I mean like a movie or something where all 5 captains were on the screen at the same time. That would just be epic. Next week I'm gonna start posting up my predictions, and I'm also gonna be posting up scores. All right. So we didn't have much action. We didn't have any polls from the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna be honest. With me being down, I lost track of where we were at with those Star Trek polls. That's fine. It happens. I'm gonna start sharing those up again. But I did have some entries for Identify This from the last week. Let me pull them up. Bear with me. All right, here we go. For Identify This, over the last 2 weeks. First entry for Identify This. Identify this actor. Okay? Kind of tough, but for true Star Trek fans out there, you know that that's Vaughn Armstrong, who has played a crap ton of characters spanning from The Next Generation all the way through to the end of Enterprise. You know, it's funny because his first human appearance was on Enterprise. I mean, his first appearance as a legit human was on Enterprise. Admiral Forrest. Vaughn Armstrong, good actor. I think he's got a good range. All right. Next for Identify This. Identify this episode. And you know what? I am going to go ahead and give some love to Austin Gubert. He did answer what it was. He got it correct. But at the same time, that was when we had the 2-week period between trials for Identify This. With that being said, I have decided that 2 weeks is a little bit of a dry spell. Nobody should go 2 weeks without anything, if I have anything to say about it, except a kick in the nuts with a steel toe boot. So I'm going to reduce the dwell time on Identify This to 1 week. Meaning, if you answer and identify this correctly, say on the 7th, you can try again on the 15th. That's your 1 week dwell time. All right. So Austin, I give you kudos, but just don't be so greedy, man. That's all I got. That's all I can say. The next for Identify This, I wanted you to identify this organization. I was looking for the Romulan Star Empire. That's what I was looking for on that one. Here we go. This is where it started to get a little rough. I wanted you to name the TV series that this was from. This is Robert Picardo, known as the EMH off of Star Trek Voyager. Or as the Doctor, I should say. But this guest appearance of his is from Smallville. 7th season of Smallville. What the hell was the character he played? He played one of the members of Veritas. I just forget the character's name. But hey, that's alright. That one was rough. Y'all didn't see it coming. That doesn't mean it won't happen, though. Alright. And the final thing I wanted you to identify was identify this beverage. Now, I could see where it would be a little difficult. I could see where it wouldn't be easy. But this beverage is Kanar, a favored Cardassian beverage. Favored by, more than anybody, Leggett Damar. Because towards the end of Deep Space Nine, you would see him clutching the bottle all the time. Hey, you know what? It is what it is. He was drinking because there was something wrong. I don't blame him. I am going to drink because there's something right. I'm almost back to full health, and I'm able to bring this to you. Alright. This week in Trek history. Well, actually, the last 2 weeks in Trek history. I just have 4 birthdays for you. August 24th, 1974. The lovely Jennifer Lean was born. She played Kess on Star Trek Voyager. Now, I made the comment last year for her birthday that she had aged well. I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but I saw a picture of her not too long after that, and yeah. Hey, I know I'm not good looking either, but at the same time, I don't have money to where I can control that. So, you know what? It is what it is. Sure, I'm very certain that she is a wonderful person, though. She turned 41 on the 26th of August, 1980. Captain James T. Kirk himself of the JJ verse, Chris Pine, was born. He is 35. On September 2nd, 1950, the first female Klingon Chancellor of the Klingon Empire. Excuse me. The first female Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, Chancellor Ezitbor, played by actress Rosanna de Soto. She was born, turned 65, and the mastermind behind the movie refit Enterprise from Star Trek the Motion Picture, Andrew Probert. Now, why am I bringing him up? Like I said, he's the mastermind. He's the mastermind behind the movie era Enterprise. Born September 5th, 1946. He is 69 years old. And with that is all I have for this week in Trek history. Let us move into the databanks. This week's entry. Uh-oh. Folks, that sensors have picked up possible spoilers. Just so you know, that's a spoiler alert. You have been warned. This week's entry, the Inner Light. The Enterprise has just completed a magnetic wave survey of a nearby star sector when they run across a probe of unknown origin. This probe, which is very fragile in nature, emits a pulse that renders Captain Picard unconscious. One moment he's looking up at Commander Riker. The next, he's greeted by the sight of a lovely young woman named Eileen, who addresses him as Kamen. Picard, thinking he's on a holodeck without a comm badge, unsuccessfully attempts to escape from Kamen's home. As Picard walks around the strange house, Eileen explains he's been deathly ill the last few days, which we later discover has been closer to a week, actually. As he is warned not to go outside, he does so anyway, and he explores the strange yet thriving village. A middle-aged man is seen planting a thriving sapling, despite a drought, as a symbol of survival. The man identifies him as Kamen, who Picard begins to interrogate and demands to be returned to his ship. The middle-aged man, named Batai, identifies Picard as Kamen, his friend. Batai explains that Eileen is his wife and jokes that if he forgot her name, to not go home, which anybody that's married knows that one. Picard finds himself in the northern province of Resic on the planet Catan, which Picard has no knowledge of. Picard decides exercise will do him well, so he goes for a walk to learn more about where he is. After a day of hiking, he returns home. Eileen is relieved after he returns, inviting her husband inside. As he walks into the house, he determines he isn't dreaming. She offers him a hot bowl of soup. While eating, Picard questions her about where he is and their level of technology. She seems upset that the man who seems to be her husband doesn't seem interested in their relationship. Picard discovers that Kamen is an iron weaver that enjoys playing the flute, despite never learning how. Excuse me. He thanks her for the soup and asks to try to send a message. She invites him to bed, but claiming he'll toss and turn due to being sick. She doesn't take no for an answer, leaning in to kiss him. Picard recognizes her necklace as the probe he encountered on the Enterprise. Eileen reveals this is the first gift he'd ever given her. Back on the Enterprise, Riker is calling sickbay, revealing that no time has passed on the Enterprise since the flash that rendered Picard unconscious. On the bridge, Dr. Crusher is examining Picard, stating she's detecting hyperactive thyrogenic activity despite the lack of injury or trauma. Worf suggests destroying the probe in his almighty Klingon way, but is overruled. Riker tries to move the ship away from the probe, but it stays with him. On Catan, Picard charts the progress of the course of the sun, trying to figure out the cause of the drought. However, Eileen knows it's a ploy and calls out Picard for still trying to figure out where he is, and to get back to the Enterprise, memories that are now a half-decade old. She asks about that life, asking if it's as good as he says, despite the fact that there wasn't love in his life. Whoa. Technical difficulties, I apologize. Picard's hallucination on Catan is as real as his life on the Enterprise. After years of listening and understanding, Eileen wants to know when her husband will let go of that life and live the one he has now, wanting to start a family. At that moment, Bataille arrives, who has assembled the administrators to listen to Picard. Bataille comments how strong Eileen is, as Picard admits that he's made the last 5 years hard on her. Picard and Bataille speak about the futility of water rationing as the administrator defends it. Picard suggests building atmospheric condensers, which would be a monumental undertaking, but is dismissed sarcastically. Bataille tries to soften the wound, but Picard sees right through his friend. Picard invites Bataille to dinner to talk about building their own condensers, while Bataille notes that he is speaking as if he is actually a member of the community. After dinner, Picard and Bataille are sitting on the bench, while Picard plays Frere Jacques on the flute. Playing the flute has become enjoyable to Picard and helps him focus. Eileen dismisses Bataille, who wishes Picard a good night. She picks up his shoes, stating she won't put them away again. Picard and Eileen share a heartfelt moment as Picard admits that Eileen has given her so little as Picard admits to Eileen that he has given her so little as she's given him so much. She tries to argue, but Picard continues to admit how rotten of a husband he's been. He asks her permission to build an addition to their home, a nursery. As Eileen is dumbfounded, Picard tries to change the subject from a nursery to a porch, but she overrules him. Back on the Enterprise, after what seems to them to be a few minutes, LaForge has identified an identifiable trail that a probe can follow. Data devises a plan to reflect the nucleonic beam back to the probe, effectively severing it from Picard. Crusher likens this to pulling a knife out of someone who's been stabbed. Horst suggests action, to which Riker agrees while keeping an eye on Picard. Outside of Picard's home, a young blonde girl is seen playing in the dirt, while Picard is playing a very familiar piece on the flute for a baby that Eileen is holding. The young girl, named Maribor, is called into the house. Eileen tells Maribor to behave during her brother's naming ceremony. Picard finishes his song to applause, and as an honor to an old friend, they name their son Bataille. As he's congratulated, they reminisce about Maribor's naming ceremony, admitting to being so nervous that he about dropped her. As they speak about Picard and Maribor, Picard reveals he's felt like he didn't need children to complete his life. and now he couldn't imagine his life without them. Suddenly, he collapses on the floor. Back on the ship, Picard is being separated from the probe. His respiratory system spasms and his pulse weakens, his body shutting down. As Crusher injects him, Riker orders Data to get the nucleonic beam back. Crusher frantically tries to stabilize Picard as Data reports the beam has been reestablished. As Picard stabilizes, Crusher relaxes for a moment. Next, we discover Maribor has matured into a young lady, taking after her father. She discovers that the soil is completely devoid of life. After a quarter of a century of research, Maribor states that the planet is dying. Picard is saddened to see his daughter burdened by things she can't change. She asks his advice about marrying a young man, to which he says, "Seize the time, Maribor. Live now. Make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again." They vocalize their love for each other as father and daughter. Riker is pacing the bridge as Crusher reports Picard's vital signs are stabilizing. LaForge reports that the probe's origin is a light year away. It is discovered that the inhabitants of Catan were all killed when their sun went nova a millennia ago. An older Picard is seen tinkering with his telescope as Eileen comes outside, bragging about putting his shoes away again. Picard has now been living this life for 30 years, as the two of them bicker about Picard's telescope. Bataille can be heard playing Picard's flute. He notes that his son lacks focus in his life. Eileen urges Picard to talk to his son. As Picard questions him about his plans, Bataille admits that he's leaving school to pursue his music. Picard is angered, to which Bataille defends his music, claiming it is the life he wants. Picard promises to discuss it with his son. Eileen admits she's still surprised by him after 30 years. Now a council member, Picard resolves to talk to the administrator, who believes he will be kicked off the council. As he's trying to explain his findings, the administrator admits that their scientists made the same discovery years ago. Picard urges him to send a time capsule of sorts off the planet, but can't go into detail, as Bataille runs into Picard, taking him home. Eileen and Picard share a final tender moment together, reminding him to put his shoes away before she passes. Picard is seen weeping for Eileen. I need a drink after that one. We next see Picard playing with a young boy, who we learn is his grandson. It's the day of the launching. Picard is heartbroken that his grandson is being denied a rich, full life. Maribor helps Picard up, and together they walk to the central village square. He inquires as to what is being launched, to which Maribor tells him he's already seen it. As Picard probes deeper, he's greeted by his friend Bataille, who explains that they'd hoped the probe would encounter someone in the future to pass along the memory of the people of Catan. As Picard realizes the probe was sent to him, he encounters his deceased wife, imploring him never to forget the people of Catan. As the probe is launched, she proclaims, "Now we live in you. Tell them of us, my darling." On the Enterprise, the probe shuts down, and Picard slowly sits up. As Crusher identifies him as captain, he slowly begins to remember where and who he is. Riker reveals that he's been unconscious 25 minutes, which Picard questions as he's just relived 30-plus years of another man's life. Crusher takes Picard to sickbay to run tests. As he approaches the turbolift on the bridge, he's surprised as the doors open on their own, pausing for a moment. In his quarters, Picard reacquaints himself with everything. Riker brings a wooden box to Picard. Picard stares at the box for a moment, giving Riker a somewhat knowing look. As Riker leaves, Picard opens the box to find a flute, which he grasps with both hands, and begins to play the song he played for his son's christening. It's powerful. That's a powerful episode, my friends. Let me finish this. Devoid of life's the brain cells, the average Sequest fan. Hey, you know me. Kind of like a Boy Scout when it comes to this. I'm always prepared. Draft 1 at 5% ABV. You know by now. Ooh, this one looks like it was clearer than the first one. Cheers to y'all. Kapla! As they say in the Klingon Empire. Okay, maybe it's not as clear, but it's not as strong. All right. Let's go behind the scenes. Just a second. My computer decided it wanted to be a Patriots fan there for a second. Hello, computer. All right. I'm going to read what I can before this thing refreshes on me. Ooh, it might be good now. Nope. I've always felt, Ronald D. Moore commented, I've always felt the experience in the inner light would have been the most profound, experience of Picard's life and changed him irrevocably. However, that wasn't our intention when we were creating the episode. We were after a good hour of TV, and the larger implications of how this would really screw somebody up didn't hit home with us till later. That's sometimes a danger in TV. You're so focused on just getting the show produced every week that sometimes you suffer from the can't see the forest for the trees syndrome. Alright. We never intended the show to completely upend his character and force a radical change in the series, so we counted ourselves with a single follow-up in Lessons. Another good episode. Not as powerful as this one, but it's a good one. Morgan Gandel revealed that the episode's title is an in-joke. The Inner Light was the B story of Lady Madonna. I thought it would be fun to give every Star Trek episode I wrote a title that's from a different... There we go. It's from a different obscure Beatles song. I wanted to call Starship Mine Revolution, but they had already used Evolution. It was a joke between me and me. Should have kept it there. In a deleted scene at the beginning of the script, Picard discusses Fleet Admiral Gustafson, who he is to give a report of their magnetic wave survey in the Parvenium Sector 2 when the Enterprise arrives at Starbase 218. Picard recalls seeing a production of Wagner's Ring Cycle with Gustafson the last time they met. Alright. While attending a production staff meeting during the making of this episode, Rick Sternbuck drew on his preliminary designs for Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine itself. Only a few scenes were filmed on the regular sets. The bridge and Picard's quarters are the only parts of the Enterprise D that are seen. Excuse me. Jay Chataway composed the music for this episode, including the Reskin flute solo played by Kamen and Picard. Chataway later expanded this piece into a 6-minute orchestral suite for the Best of Star Trek Volume 1. The Ressican melody has similarities to the Scottish tune Sky Boat Song, also known as Speed Bonnie Boat. I heard that earlier. That was pretty cool. The long view on Resic was a matte painting created by visual effects producer Dan Curry. For the 2012 remastered version of the episode, the view was recreated digitally by Max Gabel. Gabel? G-A-B-L? I think it's Gabel. Excuse me. Staying as close to the original as possible. As to the reasons for doing so, Gabel has explained, I think most of them are total recreations. Because the planets we're looking at from the original series, the original Next Generation series, are very low res and blurry. Before the remaster, obviously. There's no way to put more detail into those, so it's basically all recreation. Mike Okuda tells us exactly what we need in there, and it's just back and forth, playing it and seeing what details are going to look like when I put them in. Compare with the old. Mike will look at it, I'll make the changes, and that's how it goes. Not only did Kamen and his family receive old age makeup, many of the villagers seen over the years were aged to give a consistent look. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that one. In a cutscene, it is revealed that the soup Eileen prepared for Picard, very much to his light, is called kinome, which, if you ask me, pretty much just a vegetable soup. Before still accepting his identity as Kamen, Picard is practicing on the flute the melody of Frere Jacques, a French song he sung while climbing the turbolift with the children in Disaster. You can actually kind of tell when he lets go of the Picard persona and embraces Kamen just by listening to the music he plays. Kamen pleads with Maribor to make now always the most precious time. Now will never come again. Picard would later echo those words to Commander Riker following the destruction of the Enterprise D in Star Trek Generations. Marina Sirtis does not appear in this episode. Patrick Stewart's son, Daniel Stewart, portrays Kamen's son, Batai, during his life on Catan. Did I say Katai? I meant Batai. I'm just going to read that again. Patrick Stewart's son, Daniel Stewart, portrays Kamen's son, Batai, during his life on Catan. There we go. That's better. Stewart remembered, I'm having the earliest makeup call of any actor in the history of Star Trek. My makeup call on Monday was 1 a.m. My set call was 7 a.m. So I left home around about midnight. Excuse me. The Inner Light featured a brief scene filmed on location at Bronson Canyon in Griffin Park. This scene was later upgraded with matte paintings. And for those of you that aren't sure, it's Picard's hiking trip. Picard's flute appeared in a deleted scene from Star Trek Nemesis, during which Picard and Data discuss the crew going their own ways. Excuse me. Picard's telescope appears to be a Debosian reflector, a design popular amongst home telescope builders. According to Jay Chataway, the Resican flute was chosen for its photogenic ability because a typical flute is held in front of the actor's face. His composition for the Resican flute became one of the most requested pieces in the Paramount Pictures library. Excuse me. A humanoid statue seen in Kamen's building is a large replica of a marble Cycladic idol. Patrick Stewart nominated this episode as the greatest acting challenge he faced in the 7 years of The Next Generation. Sorry, folks, bear with me. Can't talk to you right now, my dear. Peter Lorison named this episode as definitely one of his favorite Star Trek episodes. Michael Westmore noted that The Inner Light was a show Patrick Stewart should have won an Emmy for. I believe that. I honestly do believe that. Entertainment Weekly ranked this episode number 3 in their list of top 10 episodes to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Trek The Next Generation. Michael Piller named this episode, along with The Measure of a Man and The Offspring, as one of his favorite TNG episodes, because they had remarkable emotional impacts, and they genuinely explored the human condition, which this franchise does better than any other when it does it well. The book Star Trek 101 by Terry J. Erdman and Paula Block lists this episode as one of the 10 essential episodes from Star Trek The Next Generation. This episode was featured in the Star Trek The Next Generation Viewer's Choice Marathon. Number 4, I believe. Yes, number 4. Number 5 was Relics. This was number 4. Number 3 was Yesterday's Enterprise. And 2 and 1 were The Best of Both Worlds, parts 1 and 2. My computer's being screwy. Hang on, technical difficulties. Let us drink. Let me get caught back up. Hang on. There we go. In the Next Generation's... Really? Come on. In the Next Generation Season 5 DVD collection, the menu for this episode features the flute solo. A sequel was planned, but it was scrapped. The story called The Outer Light was adapted as a comic on TrekMovie.com. That would have been an interesting one to see. A mission report for this episode by John Sayers was published in the official Star Trek The Next Generation magazine, volume 21, pages 58 through 60. Writer Peter Allen Fields praises Patrick Stewart's performance, but has the highest praise for guest actress Margot Rose. She was absolutely superb. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was grateful to have written something that an actress of that caliber had brought to life. She was excellent. I had never seen her before. I saw daily, so I saw aspects of her performance that, unfortunately, the audience never got to see. Because the show ran so long. They had to take out 7 minutes. And finally, this episode was one of the 3 selected for inclusion in the Star Trek The Next Generation, The Next Level sampler disc, intended as a preview of the remastering process for The Next Generation. Whew! Holy crap. This one ran a little bit longer than I thought. Folks, I apologize. Let me slam the rest of this. Devoid of life is the brain cells of the average Sequest fan. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I thank you for having me into your homes, on your computers, on your tablets. However you watch me, I thank you for including me as a part of your lives for the last 47, probably-ish minutes. I know it's time you won't get back, so I appreciate you giving it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make like the Enterprise and warp out, so everybody take care, have an awesome night or day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, name it after me. Don't drink and drive because you might spill your drink. More importantly, might kill yourself or somebody else, and drinking and driving is dumber than being a Sequest fan. What's dumber than that is rooting for cheating bastards like Tom. Giselle won't let me go to the Pro Bowl, and now she's going to leave me, and I destroyed my phone because I had something to hide. Brady. Men slapping women, racism, animal abuse, fake friends, people who welch on bets, or anyone who's a member of, supports, or defends ISIS or the Westboro Baptist Church that tried to picket Leonard Nimoy's funeral but couldn't find it. Things like that are highly illogical, and I will not make time for them. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I thank you for including me in your homes and in your lives. And as always, live long and prosper.